Same here. Oh my god. Hi. As if you could actually see me. As if my physical form is visible to other people. Please. Don't be rude. That's the whole thing, you know. I was talking a lot of shit about you being a cryptid, but the real thing is, it's me. I mean, I think that's how being a good poker player is, right? It's like I don't, I don't know anything about cards. Can, yeah. Actually, I stand by that. Well, it's been a great show, everybody. um, how are you doing? Oh my god. Yeah, pay me, you know? Yeah. Uh-huh. I mean, bones and bucks, you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind some bones. Don't worry about it. I don't know what I would use them for, but just be a nice. That would be my version of a welcome mat. Yeah. Yeah. uh, yeah. That actually sounds very on brand, especially for summer. Like it's not even a spooky time. Just have Scorpio undertones and I'm a dark individual. Yes, instead of a poster, I'm just gonna have literal bones. Um, well, hi, welcome to into my dark and twisted mind. How are you doing today? Oh, yep, it's very good. Should be very good, anyways. Yeah, there's so much in today's episode that I just don't even. I'd rather just not, you know. Well, shut the fuck up. There's so much. Well, hey, they just, they're just doing it everywhere. And that's not really a spoiler, that's just more of a confirmation. Logical and illogical leaps are very much a part of my brand, so I think we're all right. Illogical leaps, a memoir. Yes, that actually sounds perfect, and I love it a lot. Um, so yes, this is coming out as it is our first episode of June, so fucking happy Pride and shit for everybody. Um, and the other thing that I wanted to tell you about at the start today, um, is a little bit of a transportation to the past that I had this week. So, in the process of trying to uncover some history about my grandfather, um, I found out that he kept all of the newspaper articles that I wrote in high school and in college as very cute. Yes. But here's the thing. I had a chance during that time to look through some of the newspapers that we published in 2009 and 2011 in my high school. And at that time in high school, I was your girl's like A&E editor. So the culture was very important to me. Did I run a whole half page spread about New Moon during that time? Maybe. Maybe that happened. No, you stop it. No, thankfully and shockingly enough, it was not me. Um, I do remember once I had this, I had like a recovered memory of being stuck in my freaking high school until the depths of the night looking at fucking articles and shit. but it was not written by me. It was written by obviously someone that I knew at the time. And I'm just like, how did I let one, that run in my high school newspaper? And two, I didn't write it. Like, I didn't just commit to the bit enough at that point. But yeah, so great. I'm so glad that when I think of my high school journalism history, I went from promoting fucking New Moon. One of the things that I forgot about until looking at all of those is I used to run the seasonal fashion spread. Literally kill me. The Photoshop, Cody, it was not. It was not Photoshop. Listen, high school me trying to figure out journalism was a dark time. Stop. Stop. Well, it depends, Cody. What year are you talking about? And what season of looks am I supposed to be referring to? Oh, God. Hot summer trends. From then, from now. So what sparks me joy what sparks me joy is becoming the bones on my front porch right now. But okay, so if we're doing this from high school, because I personally find that more amusing, like you could just follow Jared's Twitter if you want to know fashion now. That's what I do. So I learned so much. So if we're talking about fashion, then one of the things that was very critical to a look TM was the fabric crossbody bags that all of my classmates used to buy at like the farmer's market. I remember I had one that was zebra on the outside and purple on the inside. So who the fuck let me talk about fashion is all I have to say. Especially because I wore jeans and a t-shirt the whole time. So what? But definitely glitter butt jeans for sure. That was a thing. So that's great. Maybe I don't know, was that late enough in time for maxi dresses to be a thing? I feel like that's always a safe look for anybody. Just throw on a robe and you're good to go. And then I think that there was definitely still some interest in the patterned graphic tee department in high school. So that's great. Hi, welcome to Fashion Corner. It's been 10 years since I was in high school, so I have no idea who let me do that. Also, there were so many fonts. I just want to die. It's fine. I'm throwing these in the fire. I'm so embarrassed. But now this is the high quality journalism that I do, so welcome. The glow up is real. I'm glad that I'm still talking about the same things that I was talking about then, but just now times. It's great. So we do have some current events this week to talk about, and thankfully they're Twilight related this week. And yep. Yeah, speaking of fashion, you know me. Just your fashion fucking experts here. I'm just so embarrassed. I had to read, I mean, I still have a couple of my essays from high school that I've looked at before, but I have not looked at the things that my amazing journalism mentor teacher let us actually publish into actual history. And I just, why? You know? Yeah, so great. Yeah, Mitch is really embarrassed for me. Okay, so one of the things to definitely talk about right off the bat is I had originally pulled a Screen Rant article about 20 crazy secrets about the cast of Twilight. And there's really nothing in here that we haven't talked about. But I think it's very good and very important to mention that one of these things is Robert Pattinson's modeling career when he was a youth. And so, you know, at his age, he was rich and successful and getting down with modeling. And I was fucking trying to write about etnies and make that get into a newspaper. Like, who am I? So great. I just need to share, and I think we need to talk about some of the photos that you pulled and put in the doc for this week. Hmm. Oh yeah. Just a young boy in a scarf and on a box. You know? Nope. Very long socks. Yep, it's so bad. Oh yeah. Yes, he's very young. I have this shared on our Twitter account too, just so that people can reference it. But like, you know what photos these are. You've seen these. Him with just like grasping this box. It's a lot. A scared cyber woman. Yeah. Oh God. I need to make large HQ photos of these. Don't I though? Doesn't everybody? I would want nothing more. Oh my God. I can't wait to find some really long socks to put on with white strappy heels. This is very good. This would be an amazing Halloween couples costume. So that's very good. The only other thing that I wanted to mention is, and I promise, folks, this is actually related. But The Bachelor's created a new show. It's called The Proposal. So great. But the reason why this came up in our daily digest is that one of the people mentions Christian Grey. So great. The reviewer, so this is from a Refinery 29 article about the proposal, and the author writes, the trailer for the show is equally unpromising. A conventionally attractive fellow insists he's here for the right reasons, while shirtless, wearing flip-flops and board shorts. Which, first of all, it's a look for sure. Another says she's looking for, quote, Mr. Rogers and Christian Grey. Yep. I'm feeling so uncomfortable by the prospect of both of those men, but also the combination of both of those men. There are people that would want to fuck Mr. Rogers, right? Hot take. Hot take. Um, hot take is that I don't want to fuck Mr. Rogers. But Mr. Rogers scared the shit out of me as a kid. I don't know if it was his quiet voice and his dolls. They're technically called puppets, but like we know those are real people inside. Um, well, yes. How is everybody not afraid of puppets? What are you talking about? No, God. There was just something very terrifying to me about Mr. Rogers as a child, and I know that that's an unpopular opinion, but it's just where I'm at in life right now. I just feel like they're humans that are small. The idea of it has always just scared me. I was just like, I think those are real people that got cursed into being puppets. That's just my truth, okay? Well, I'm not saying it's good. I think that it's very scary. I think we should be afraid. I just don't understand the whole notion of like sock puppets. It freaks me out a little. Well, a little bit less for sock puppets, but people decorate them. Listen, I never claimed to be a normal person, so. Listen, aliens are real, puppets are humans, and I'm just a little bit scared by the prospect of nobody is talking about any of this. It's my truth. It's not great, okay? I'm just very scared of it. Well, is it on the same universe as Grey? Because that's what we need to talk about today. Thank you. Yep. Yep, that's how that works. Hey, so this book, it just keeps getting worse. So, yikes, first of all. And second of all, what if part of Christian Grey's Red Room, which Anna refers to as the Red Room of Pain, Christian refers to it as the Red Room of Pleasure, had puppets? I'm quitting this podcast. I forget every fucking week. I don't understand. I have the memory of a goddamn goldfish. I don't get it. Anyways. Um, I would be. Oh god. The idea of people tapping on glass to get my attention sounds like my actual nightmare. And like a little kid. Oh god. I couldn't be a goldfish. I don't want to be flushed down the toilet. Like I don't get it. Did you ever have any fish growing up? What kind of fish? So you darled a lot of fish. Good to know. Oh. Now, hold on. You had a fish and then it became a crab? Oh. Yeah, it sounds like you. Yeah. Typical cancers, you know what I mean? I really like the storytelling strategy of yours that's very summative, like had fish, suddenly crab, no more fish. Had fish, became crab, no fish. I'm just very intrigued by what if we did this whole episode this method of storytelling? But here you are nonetheless. You know? I like this method of truth telling. Um so I know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not judging you, so um here's the thing. Chapter 9. Um Girl wake up, girl pee, girl dance, girl fuck. And that's it. I mean, that's basically it. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. So chapter 9 actually. Um Fucking Anastasia Steele wakes up, stares at her sex robot for a little bit too long. A very uncomfortable amount of time. She ends up like getting up multiple times, but just deciding like I'm hungry, so I need to figure this out. But while she's changing her, and I forgot about this since last week, inner goddess is critiquing her this whole time. So great. The most, yes. Yeah, I didn't know that it could get worse, and then it continues to. Um, okay. But we like a challenge. So she gets up. She forgets again that she needs to contact Kate. She's really not the best at texting back. But I do need to spend just just a moment on Kate's text to Anna. Because keep in mind, right? She's a journalist, and she's a modern woman, but she texts like a 50-year-old dad, and I don't get it. I'm confused by the whole thing, especially when she goes on like the she doesn't type out her R's or U's, and so it's just a lot. But I like that. It's a style choice. Now, one thing to know for the rest of this chapter is that Anna's going to do a lot of references to Bluebeard. And I didn't know what this was, so I had to look it up. Did you know what Bluebeard was? Fucking, of course you did. You're. Well, thank you for telling me your truth. I didn't know what it was, but then I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, so it's a French folktale that's been adapted into multiple movies, but the main idea of the tale anyways was a quote wealthy violent man in the habit of murdering his wives. So it's Christian. It's fine. It's not fine, but it's now we know. So Anna, in the most relatable format that she's been this whole time that I've been reading this book, gets her iPod out and just starts fucking dancing around the kitchen while making pancakes. As you do. Yep, that's what it does to you. You get dick down. Yep, it's very good. Oh my god. It was a lot, and I hated it. And it's not good. It's very bad. Well, and oh, and he does is the problem. Listen, we find out later that Christian has a thing for hair, and it's not the touching kind, it's the consumable kind. But one of the weirdest things for me about that whole situation is when I find two hair ties, I just leave one on my wrist. I don't need to use both at the time. But whatever. Yeah, you always need two. Honestly, Anna, think of someone else. It's very good. But anyway, so she's dancing around. She finally looks up, I guess, from the immaculate kitchen that she's in, and Christian's just on a fucking bar stool, just watching her. And I think in this moment it's supposed to be like cute and like morning time and all this stuff. But the idea of him just like staring at her like, yes, Anna, dance for me. That's what he sounded like last week, right? That's the sex robot sound I made. Um, yeah, like a odd Siri Alexa mix. Now that's a book I would read. Yeah, bot romance, you know what I mean? Um, I want it. But yes, so they end up eating, and Christian's getting so pissed that Anna's tick is her biting her lip. I think at one point he like grabs her chin and is like, I'm gonna rip this lip off. Like, stop. Care about your lips. Anna, think of yourself. But yes, so they end up over breakfast just talking about sex, which, okay, it's fair. But the idea of him referring to this as her basic training is a little bit much for me personally. Yeah, because he's mainly concerned about how sore she is. She's like, well, you know, um, I got dick down last night. I'm a little bit sore. And and so they're just casually talking about oral during breakfast, which is, as you do, I guess. And they start talking about when she needs to leave, all this shit. But the main thing to get out of this breakfast conversation, at least that I got out of it, is that Christian has a very different relationship to food than Anna does, which makes their dynamic very odd, personally. All the time. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I think she talks about that too. Like, is this how our dynamic is going to go? Next chapter, and she's like, I don't think I like this. Yeah. I love though that Kate calls, and Kate wants to know everything about what's happened. And I think Anna almost goes into it, and then she's like, "Oh shit, that's right, I signed an NDA," because that's a thing that you can do. Yep, yep. I mean, I think that's the rich equivalent of Venmoing your friends for doing weird shit, right? So, I mean, maybe it's a thing, but NDAs are a little bit more binding, in a couple of different ways. Exactly. Yes. They end up going to, wow, I forgot. They go to end up taking a bath, because Anna cannot say anything to Kate, and she just wants to ask her friend, her best friend, some questions about sex, and can't do that. No. Yep. Well, and especially because she doesn't use the internet at all to answer any of these questions. So she needs her people, and she isn't able to do that, which sucks. That's not how love works. That's not how sex works. So, hey. Um, yeah, that whole scene frustrated me a lot. But they end up going to take this bath, right? And They do it without clothes. And that requires, hey, listen, today in our Vine reference, like I'm washing me and my clothes, like some people don't take their clothes off when they bathe. Um, but anyways, and like knowing her, she would take a bath with like, I don't know, a swimsuit on, maybe with another person there. But they don't. And that means that there's this long page of Christian being like, hey, don't be ashamed of what your body looks like. You're great. And it's like, shut the fuck up, Christian. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. That was great. This bath scene is a lot. It's 75 pages long. E.L. James has no idea, apparently, about the fact that you're not supposed to put, like, literal soap up in your genitals. But that's a thing that they do, so yikes, first of all. Um, yeah, they definitely had a purpose to it as well. But yeah, so there's a lot of like washcloths. There's a lot of Christian the sex robot saying baby, which is gross. And then him being like, actually, um, you don't get to orgasm in this moment. It's my turn. So great. Yep. Nope. And she does. Yep. God, it's so. There's a part that both of us had to read today where E.L. James writes, quote, he's my very own Christian Grey flavored popsicle. I'm so, how, this is the most, I can never get this out of my head. Yeah. Apparently her inner goddess is doing the salsa. So like, yikes. Yeah. No. Ugh, God, it's so bad. Especially when he decides, like, oh yeah, you get an A in oral skills, which is gross. And then there's a part two where he starts saying, like, I don't usually go tit for tat on this, but I'm gonna make an exception. And it's just like, shut the fuck up. Stop! Also, okay, listen, I don't know. And Anna said that, she's a virgin, so like it's fine. Um, but do you ever just swallow a whole dick in your first oral experience? Like, Jesus Christ, Anna. That's not how that works. Yeah, I mean, she chokes on her spit like all the time, and this is the exception? Oh, God. Yeah, yikes. Oh, yeah. All I could hear was the Jaws theme when I read that part. I'm just being honest. And he was making the Jaws sound, you know? So, great. Um, Christian decides to finally let Anna orgasm. Thank you, Christian, God. Um, and in the process of doing so, he like looks at her fucking braids and is like, "You look so young." It's like gross. Stop. But yeah. Anyways, she orgasms. I'm pretty sure. Um, I mean, she yeah. So that's great. There's just a lot of sex stuff happening in this space. Oh, they do start. Okay, so the tie thing, right? He does like tie up her hands. So that's great. Mhm. Yeah, that's very good. Anyways, he keeps like pleading with her to sign the fucking contract, and it's like that's not. Hey, stop that. But they can't really finish up their whole sex situation because his mom shows up, as you do. Yes, so that's great. That is where chapter 10, nope, yeah, chapter 10 starts. So, yikes. The one thing that I wanted to talk about, oh, okay, I thought I knew this already. So, his mom in the movie, at least the first one, if I remember right from looking at cast photos, is played by Marcia Gay Harden. And that's such a soft, nice woman to have as a mom figure in this horrible franchise. It's honestly disrespectful. So, chapter 10 starts with Christian being like, "Welcome to my closet. Thank you for watching me in this space. Please get dressed as fast as possible, or I'm going to drag you out no matter what you're wearing to meet my mom." Ugh. Yep. For my mom, yeah. Oh God, damn it, Christian, you weirdo. Um, there's a lot of phone calls happening in these two chapters because then Jose calls in the matter of like 2 minutes and she walked out to meet Grace. And first of all, Anna, that's you're being rude. Like exactly. So that's great. Then there's like nothing really that happens here because his mom ends up leaving. And yep, it was more just like, "Are you dead? Nope, you're not dead. Great." And then Taylor's like, "Sir, you have a business to run." And so he tries to do that without really doing anything else. Yes. I do they kill people? I don't know. Do they feed people? I don't know. I feel like it's the equivalent of someone answering the phone and being like, "Hello, I would like to do a business. Are you doing a business? Let's talk about words that we know." He's not actually saying anything. This is a place in another country that I would like to use. Christian. Yes. Ugh. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes. I just don't get it. I'm so confused. Also, He has a Blackberry, and I forget that every time. But it's just such a very good image for me. I love that a lot. Yeah, it's such a. Who is he? Like, what is his brand? Anyways, so he returns back to Anna and is like, I need you to read this contract. And I would really appreciate it, Anna, if you looked up this stuff on the internet. One of my favorite things is he's like, you'll be amazed what you can find on the internet. It's like, really, Christian? Are you mansplaining the internet? I, I think I know more than just how to ask Jeeves for oral. You know what I mean? Like, I think we go. Well, Mr. Jeeves, how does one? I'm already gone. Um, God, you've been doing comedy with someone for too long. Anyways, it's fine. Yeah. Is that not Taylor though? Like yeah. Taylor is Jeeves, the sex butler, and Christian is just the head sex robot, I guess. Oh, so many jobs. So they end up driving back to Vancouver um, because Anna had earlier made a point of like, I need to go home tonight, just because she doesn't want to have to buy clothes up there. Fair. Um, and on the way there, they go and have lunch, and it's very weird because he ends up saying shit like, the sooner I have your submission, the better, and we can stop all this. And she's like, stop what, Christian? I don't, you weirdo. But yeah, he's just very adamant that he doesn't like her defying him. So, great. There's like 3 pages about cars because I forgot this was Twilight. Um, and then when they go, she doesn't want to eat as much as he does. And also, as soon as they walk in, he fucking same. Yeah, he orders fucking Pinot Grigio. And she's like, first of all, Christian, it's like a 1 p.m. and I want a Diet Coke. And he's just not about that. I just don't get it. Oh, okay. So this lunch conversation I forgot was actually like a little bit important because Christian ends up talking about a little bit more of his backstory, and like it's fine, I guess. I think it's supposed to make him seem more like vulnerable and explain his actions, but a lot of the things that he's done so far have just been like, you're a dick kind of thing. But Christian apparently has gone through trauma when he was 15. And I guess it said like one of his mom's friends, right? So that's yikes for a lot of different reasons. But he like still sees her. His family doesn't know and is asking like a lot of questions about all of this. Understandably. Yes. Agreed. Yup. Yeah. maybe not use those terms. Oh, absolutely. And I'm imagining just from E.L. James and like what I know about her writing style, this is not the only time that this is going to be brought up, but I think that it's supposed to help Anna learn a little bit more about him, while also him insisting that she drink alcohol and order venison, and it's like who? Okay, that's fine, I guess. Yeah. So she does ask more questions too about like, is this what our dynamic is going to be like? You just ordering me around? He's like, well, yeah, obviously. She's like, well, Kate, I'm gonna walk home, I guess. Yeah. Um, he starts talking more about his partners, and Anna's asking more questions. We find out, because apparently he had not communicated this to her before, that he is monogamous in these relationships. And she's like, oh, this is brand new information for me, which, like, ooh. Yeah, cool. It's me. I don't have to kill anybody else. It's great. Yeah. Gross. It's just so bad. Yeah, so they get back to her place, and Kate is all excited um, and wants to talk about all of the things. One of my favorite things that I when they do when she leaves, and she's like, "Oh, by the way, Christian, I'm wearing your underwear." She's like, "Bye." It is. Yep, I love it a lot. Um, Kate wants to know all of the things, and I cannot say all of the things. So it sets up this very interesting dynamic with two people that, from what we can tell each other everything. Um, so all that is fine or whatever. Um, Kate's doing a lot of the like, you look different. Ugh, gross. Wow. At least that's a little bit more of like a normal conversation about sex to be having. Um, I love though that she insists that she's gonna give Christian back the books he gave her, which is very good. Her just trying to have as many power moves as possible. Um, but then Jose calls, and it's weird. It's the most boring. I don't get it. I don't know. Yeah, he is not moving forward the plot at all, whereas at least Jacob did. Um, but the thing that I can think of is obviously like E.L. James is not being subtle about trying to set up this competitive nature for Anna. But it just makes me more curious about those trailers that we saw with all the murder. Like, when does that come in? I have so many questions. Um, I don't know any of them, but I still just have questions. The chapter ends up continuing with Anna trying to talk about like Jose and Christian. They just want so much from me. What do I do? As if they were true competitors in her head. Um, but it's gross. So she keeps thinking about how Christian's so complicated, and he's just making her feel so sad because of everything that he's been through. Um, and we don't really get a lot of it. So, I mean, I guess like the compassion is there, but I don't know. The way that she's justifying all of this in her head just reads really gross. Um, and then here's the thing, they go to bed, whatever. It means nothing. But then she opens up these envelopes on her way back. And that's it. That's like where the chapter ends. Presumably it's going to be the contract, but we don't know. Yes, it could be him just writing down his Netflix password and mailing it to her. Yeah. Then, oh, I love that. I think that would make for a far better, less yawn inducing novel. Agreed. But yeah, so next week we have chapters 11 and 12. So we're like going to be halfway through, which seems weird. But before we move on to Taylor Brown Browntown, it's time to thank our lovely patrons. So thank you so much to Shannon Clearwater, who is a clear glass of Pinot Grigio. Oh God, she does not know how to make scrambled eggs. And thank you to Katie Weber, who is the silk tie. Wow, Katie. Thank you for being so vulnerable with us in the space. um, yeah, I mean, that's fair. Okay, so Taylor Brown, Browntown. Um, Taylor sent over a cute fan fiction, which is suspicious. But this, well, yeah, Mr. Dr. Sheldon Cooper, fucking. Okay, all right. So this is called Forever Hold Your Peace, and it was written by the user Munchkin Mare. Great. And it's described as notorious player Christian Grey keeps one woman constant in his life, his best friend, Anastasia Steele. While she's away on a volunteer trip, Christian realizes that he's in love with her, but fate has other plans when Anna comes back engaged to Mr. Right. Follow the two's journey from their first encounter all the way up to the altar. And it was published on June 3rd, 2016, so almost exactly 2 years ago. So that's great. I was recommended to read chapter 1, so we'll see how this goes. All right. I scream loudly, hoping to wake him up or even call attention over to my room. I yank the pillow from under his head and start hitting him with it repeatedly. The mystery man wakes up screaming as well and immediately realizes that he's naked and that some girl is hitting him. What the fuck? Stop! He grabs the pillow and throws it across the room so that it lands on Kate's bed. I scramble to my feet and grab the first thing I can get my hands on, which, embarrassingly, is a 3-hole punch. I hold up my weapon of choice. Don't come any closer. I'm not afraid to use this. My fear apparently makes the mystery man laugh. This isn't funny. Who are you? Why are you in my room? Why were you cuddling me naked? Mystery man frowns in confusion, but smirks in amusement. First off, stop yelling. I have a raging headache. Second, lower your hole punch. It's not going to do anything. Third, I'm Christian Grey, and this is my room. No, it's not. It's my room. Room 581. Check the housing agreement if you don't believe me. The smug grin mystery man wore a few seconds ago disappears and is quickly replaced with mortification when he finally takes in his surroundings. Oh shit. He wraps the blanket tightly around his entire body and turns beet red. I thought I got off on 6, not 5. I'm sorry. It's, fine. I laugh a little, releasing some tension, and also because I find it genuinely funny this guy randomly showed up in my room. Here, let me get your clothes for you. I notice that his clothes form a path from my door leading up to my futon. I tell him that I'll be out in the hall and to come out when he's ready. After a few minutes of me awkwardly sitting beside the wall outside my room, Christian emerges, still looking very embarrassed. Again, I'm so sorry. I live in 681, right above you. Must have been so drunk not to realize that I got off on the wrong floor. I'll head up now. Sorry to bother you. Don't worry about it. Everyone's had their fair share of drunk nights. I get up off the floor and head back into my room. Right as I'm about to shut my door, I look back at him. Hey, you never answered my question. He turns around again. Which one? Why were you naked? End scene. So, apparently this is supposed to be cute and charming. That there's just a naked man cuddling you when you wake up in the morning. Yeah, as you do, I guess. Listen, I'm not gonna kink someone's shame, you know what I mean? That's how that works, right? Yeah, totes. Awesome. Get fit.